Hi everyone, and welcome to today's General Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. If you can believe it, I had another General Hospital dream, but this one was like a little bit more with the times and just as elaborate. So this time I was helping Carlos escape from prison, but the prison was laid out a lot like my old high school, which is symbolism. And I don't know, I was very aware that I was helping someone that Sunny hated, so I may have been like a traitor to the Corinthos organization, not sure, but the whole thing was very strange and very elaborate. And real fast, the winner of Character of the Week for last week is Anna for facing her consequences and standing up against Paul and Carlos, and the honorable mention, although I was super tempted to give it to the puppy. Honorable mention is going to be Carly for having Dr. Finn's back and standing up against Obrecht and having an awesome name. Alright, so let's get to today's General Hospital recap. At the hospital, welcome new Jake. I don't know if you knew that, but Jake was recast. Well, you know it today if you didn't. And he and Jason are waiting for Franco to start the art therapy session. And Franco comes into the hospital with with the box with the puppy in it, and Monica stops him, although she doesn't know there's a puppy in it. So Franco gives Monica a really hard time and points out how she's not the chief of staff and the chief of staff loves him. And I'm like, you might not want to do that because I'm pretty sure something's going to change. And he's super rude to her, and she brings up all his past transgressions. And really fast, I want to apologize if I'm talking weird. Last night when I was going to sleep, I sneezed, and when I bit down, I did it right on the side of my tongue, so the side of my tongue's like all swollen. So just really fast, I want to let you know I'm a mess. In case you don't know, I'm a hot mess. So Monica gets paged and has to walk away, and Franco walks away with his dog and brings the dog out. And Franco gives Jake the puppy, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna go over well, right? Yeah, it doesn't. So Jake really wants to keep the puppy. Jason has to say no, and now there's a rift between Jason and Jake's like, I hate you. And I was like, oh, this is gonna go great. So Monica comes over, and she is not happy with what happened with the dog. And Monica brings Jake and the puppy away and says the groundskeeper's been looking for a dog, and if he chooses to keep the puppy, Jake can visit anytime. And Jake's like, oh, and it's like, ugh, kid, like, it so isn't fair to him, you know? So Jason is not letting Franco out of the conversation, and Franco says Jason is all about Sam and Danny, and Jake knows that, and he's a lonely kid, and he reminds him a lot of himself. And Jason's like, don't you dare say that. No. Bad Franco. So Franco tells Jason he's a killer and that's all he'll ever be. At Crimson, Julian is in Nina's office. He wants to be kept in the loop, and she's like, well, I just got in, so that's why I didn't answer any of your emails or anything. And she kind of goes off about not giving anything up for someone else's selfish needs, and he's like, I just need your financial reports. Like, you may be autonomous, but I still need your financials. So she's very upset, and he's actually really nice to her, and he offers to listen if she wants to talk. And they do have a really in-depth conversation. And Julian says at the end of it, Franco seems to care about her. And she says, you know, maybe they just both don't know each other at all. And she talks about how people lie more to the people they love. And then he's like, you know what, I got to go. And she's like, did I hit a nerve? And asks about Carlos. And he says, no, she says that he's just like her. You know, he's worked and changed, but people have long memories. And he says that everything going on with Carlos has nothing to do with him. At the PC, but Nina is super skeptical and, like, I don't know, look on her face. She's up to something. At the PCPD, Alexis meets with Carlos, and she says, Sorry, I thought I put a segment at the beginning, but it was actually at the end, so I thought I skipped something. But no, we're good. So at the PCPD, Alexis meets with Carlos, and she says, barring Sabrina's reappearance, that he should be just fine and maybe get off on all the charges. He says they should stop talking about Sabrina, and she asks if there's a chance she'll return to Port Charles, and he says no, and she's like, is that because she's dead? And Carlos is like, no, of course not. So Alexis tells him about the tape of Sabrina's statement, and I can't tell if he's disappointed or not that Sabrina actually did that. And she's confident her motion will be granted. And he wants to talk about Sunny, and basically Carlos wants to pay off from Julian so he can disappear with Sabrina for good, and he threatens to flip if Julian says no to that. In Puerto Rico, this is what I thought I skipped. Who does the baby rattle belong to? And Sabrina's Tia says that the rattle belongs to her friend Linda and her baby, and Michael wants her to call her friend now. So her friend and baby come over and pick up the rattle. So it's like, oh, she was telling the truth, right? And she says she's really worried about Sabrina because maybe she never came to Puerto Rico if she hasn't contacted her. In Sunny's office, Sunny meets with Rick, to talk about the case, and Rick says rumor has it the prosecution's case is full of holes. And Rick asks Sunny if he's going to kill Carlos, and Sunny doesn't answer. Rick wants to use the same maneuvers against Carlos that he used against Sunny when they were enemies. And Sunny says he doesn't think Rick is disloyal. Like, that's not why he's not telling him stuff. He's weighing his options with Carlos, so he doesn't really have an answer right now. And Sunny tells him if he has to take action, he wants to do it on his own since the teamwork thing with Anna didn't really work out last time. At Jewel Alexis's house, Molly wants to know why Alexis is representing Carlos, and Molly isn't letting her get out of this conversation. And Molly is like, how do you live with yourself? So Molly says that Carlos is pure evil, and that really bothers Alexis, so she gets the dagger out and tells Molly exactly what it is. So Molly thinks it's more of a reason why she shouldn't represent another murderer, and Molly doesn't believe that Alexis is happy with Julian. She feels that Julian pressured her into representing Carlos because that's the only reason she'd do this. And Molly says that she doesn't hate her, but she has a feeling she hates herself. And I'm like, ooh, Molly really knows how to cut to the bone, right? And now end scene, woo! We have our booze back. Michael says that they're going back to Port Charles to talk to Carlos. Linda comes back with the rattle. Sabrina's Tia does have her baby after all. What? Alexis holds the dagger and thinks about what Molly says about Carlos and Anna being Anna's Helena, and Julian comes in. And now, interesting, a young man comes into the police station and says he has information about Carlos Rivera and the Duke Lavery murder. And then Sunny gets off the phone with Max, and this leads me to believe that this is Sunny's action against Carlos. So Jason says he's going to keep Franco away from Jake. Franco says that he threw Elizabeth away. Franco says that killing is the only thing that makes Jason feel alive, and Jason throws Franco against the wall and says that he should have made sure Franco died when he shot him in that garage. And as Franco points out, that he remembers. So very, very interesting, if I do have to say so myself. Thank you. Actually, one second, let me check on something. One of the first videos me and Cassie made back in 2012 was reenacting Franco's death. I am in that garage. I am going to put that link in the description. It has 73 views. I'm interested to see how many it has. Apparently, I loved it at the time. I'm not going to watch it because I'm afraid that I won't put the link in the description. So I'm going to do that. So check that out when you're done watching this video. Thank you so much for watching today's recap, and I will see you tomorrow for more General Hospital. Bye!